Hello, readers. We've been talking this year a lot about reading strategies, and we've been learning how those reading strategies can help us when we get stuck on a word that we don't know. Well, the reason that we spend so much time talking about reading strategies and practicing how to use them is because when we have lots of strategies that help us, it helps to increase how long we can read for. And we call that our reading stamina. We've talked a little bit about stamina this year. Do you think you can tell me in your own words what you think reading stamina means? When you hear that word stamina, what does that mean to you? Can you share with me? Well, I have a little chart here that I want to show you, and it has a definition of what reading stamina is. It says reading for a long time without getting too tired or giving up. And that's why our reading strategies are really important because sometimes when you're reading and the reading is difficult, you might feel like, oh, I want to give up. But when you remember all of those strategies that we've learned about, and you remember that those reading friends can help you to figure out the words, it helps me to think, oh, I know I can do this. I can keep going, I can press on, and I can use one of our friends to help us to figure out this word that I'm stuck on. So today, I wanted to talk a little bit about what we would do if we were together at school. If we were together at school, we would set a goal for ourselves, a class goal. And we would have a goal of how many minutes we wanted to read for each day. And then we would try to increase our reading stamina as the year goes on. So I want you to take a minute and think about how many minutes are you able to read for on your own at home? What would you say? Are you able to read for maybe 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 6 minutes? How many minutes can you read for before you start to get distracted? What do you think? Well, we're going to work today on increasing our reading stamina. And one way that I like to work on increasing my reading stamina is I like to chart the minutes that I'm able to read for. And this is something that we would do together in our classroom. So today I'm going to put a chart below that you can print out and you can use as you're challenging yourself to read for more minutes by yourself. And our chart looks a little bit like this. At the top, it says read to self, because this is reading that you're doing on your own to yourself at home. And over here on this side, you'll see that big long word we just talked about, stamina. And you'll see numbers going up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 15. Because our goal in kindergarten by the end of the year is to read for 15 minutes by ourselves. Down at the bottom, you'll see that word date. And what that means is in these boxes that are empty, you can write what the date is. And then you can color in and record how many minutes you were able to read for by yourself. Okay? So if you usually read for 2 or 3 minutes by yourself, maybe today, when you start your chart, you'll challenge yourself to see if you can read for 4 minutes without stopping, without getting tired, and without giving up. So telling yourself, I'm going to press on and I'm going to read for 4 minutes. And then you'll put the date down here, and then you can use something to color in your chart to represent how many minutes you read for. And then, as the weeks go on, you can start to see how your reading stamina increases. Okay? And at school, we would be making a big chart together with all of these things that we would talk about. It looks like when we're using our reading strategies and we're doing good reading in our classroom. So one of the things that we would do is we'd reach into our pocket, we would put on our thinking cap, and we would take a minute and we would think about, what does good reading look like? When I'm not distracted and I'm working hard, what does that look like and what does it sound like? And it's going to look a little different at home than it would in our classroom. So we're going to talk today about what it would look like at home. So I want you to picture for a minute where you are in your house when you are doing your reading work. What does that look like? What does it sound like? Well, I know when I'm reading at my house, I always have my stack of books with me. I want to make sure that those books that I'm reading are right next to me and they're close by. Because when I finish my first book about the seasons, then I can easily go on to my next story. So I make sure that I have my stack of books right next to me. And I always make sure that I pick a spot that's cozy and comfortable. I have a rocking chair in my house that's gray. And it's really quiet in that room because there isn't a TV. There aren't things in that room to distract me. And there's a bookshelf actually right next to the rocking chair with lots of different books to choose from. So I get all my books with me. And I also find that cozy spot where I enjoy reading that doesn't have a lot of distractions. It's quiet, it's peaceful, it's calm. And I pick that spot because I know that's where I can do my best reading, and that's where I can increase my stamina. And I can read for a longer time without getting distracted. Here are a couple things on my chart. As I read some of those things about what good reading looks like, give me a thumbs up if you were thinking that too. What it looks like. Reading quietly. Reading the whole time. Our eyes are on the book. Oh, yes, so important to make sure that as I'm reading, my eyes are on the story the whole time. So I can be using those strategies, be thinking about what makes sense. Staying in one spot. I shared with you that my one spot is that cozy gray chair. Where's your one spot that you stay in? And maybe you don't have one spot. Well, today would be a good day to pick a special spot in your house that's going to be that one peaceful, calm spot where you do your reading. So you might be thinking right now, where's that one spot going to be that I'm going to stay in? And getting started right away. So that's why I make sure I have my stack of books with me. I'm right in that one spot where I'm going to stay so that I'm ready to get started right away with my quiet reading. And over here, you can see a couple things on my chart that show me what it wouldn't look like. So some things that would really decrease our stamina and would make it tricky for us to read the whole time. So things like looking all around, that getting distracted, playing with the books, talking with other people in your house, or just skipping and flipping through those pages really quickly. Because when we're skipping and flipping through those pages really quickly, we're not taking that time to think about, does it make sense? And does it sound right? So I want you to take another peek at our chart. Look here where it says what it looks like. And I want you to picture yourself at your house. Do you have that cozy spot? Do you have a stack of books? Well, today, set a goal for yourself. How many minutes do you think you can read for? Where you're reading the whole time, you're looking at your books the whole time, you're using your strategies, and then see if you can fill in how many minutes you read for today on your stamina chart. And then as the weeks go on, see if every couple of days you can challenge yourself to read for another extra minute. And then maybe the next week, another extra minute. And watch and notice how your stamina grows. Well, I hope today that you find a cozy spot to read and you think of some ways that you can help build your reading stamina. Have a wonderful day.